I've always wanted to have a go at taking photos of these cows in this weird little village. While many people driving past always seem a little bit frustrated or maybe they're in a rush, I actually appreciate the work these cows are doing. But what work even is that, and where is this place? Well, my challenge for the day is to find out and take photos of these cows at work, and I'll be doing this with only my camera and a single 35mm prime lens. My goal is to come away with 3 specific photos I have in mind, and hopefully we get them before the sun goes down. I think about less than a minute into this, and I've already stood in some poo. It's the second time I've stood in some poo. Mission of trying to keep these shoes clean is not going well. Nothing to see here. Where even are we? We're just outside a very, very, very old market town in the southwest of England. It's named Minchinhampton, and this town is really more of a village by today's standards, and actually a village populated almost entirely by cows, it seems, and the king's sister. And no, I am not making that up. Princess Anne does have a house here. You may or may not know that England has many weird old laws that still stand today. Like, it's technically still illegal to wear a suit of armour in Parliament, or not being able to drive pigs, sheep or cows through central London during work hours. And it's a similar law that means these cows here have free roam of the village and roads, making for funny roadblock situations like this. Right, this is my first time actually coming out with a camera to shoot the cows here, and they have gotten straight to work in blocking the road and making me quite happy, but definitely upsetting a few people on the road. I love what they're doing. I like blocking the cars. This is fun. This kind of captures this entire idea and how peculiar this situation is here in Minchinhampton. Problem is, I don't really know how to frame it to get the right spacing between the cows and the cars, whether to have the cows in the foreground or the cars in the foreground. Still trying to figure that out. But it looks like it's going to be quite easy to find a few situations like this where the road is just completely blocked. It could be that I need to be at a further distance to kind of capture the whole chaos of the scene, or I need to be right up in there. Again, we're only using a 35mm lens, so we're going to have to experiment with position more so than zoom to be able to try and get something that kind of tells this story a little bit better, I think. As you may have noticed from my first few photos and this POV shot, I'm shooting on this new prime lens from Viltrox. This is their new 35mm f1.8 Evo 2 lens for Sony E-mount. I'm not being paid to make this video by Viltrox, I just thought this would be the right situation to test out this lens. I do have a link down below in case you do want to check it out. There's a specific pair of cows we've been wanting to shoot, which we noticed when we were driving by earlier in the day. These are Highland cows, and you can spot them by their iconic fringes and amazing horns. I managed to get a few shots I like of these Highland cows pretty much straight away. Their horns and fringes look incredible, like a kind of mid-2000s emo kid, and perfect as the light started hitting them from a lower side angle. Especially as this one here was scratching on a signpost and posing for some photos, I really like these few shots, how the Highland cow is kind of interacting with like the road infrastructure. I think this is quite fun. I really wanted to immerse you in the world of these cows, so I went on a sound recording mission with this Highland cow here. I maybe got a little bit too deep into its personal space. Today I have been bitten by a dog and just hit in the leg with the horn by a Highland cow. If you're enjoying these cow scenes and seeing me get stabbed by Highland cows, I think we would get along. So remember to drop a like and a hype on this video down below, and consider subscribing to the channel. I still hadn't quite got that image that tells the story of this weird traffic arrangement with the cows here. So I followed this small herd as they started to migrate across the road towards maybe fresher grass. It is always greener on the other side after all. I managed to do this perfectly in time with some busy traffic arriving down this main road. After a few flop attempts with being on the wrong side of the right cow at the right time, I decided just to stick in one spot and wait for the right opportunity. As this white Golf was approaching, this cow also decided to cross at a leisurely pace just as the car was going to arrive. I really like the difference in distance between the cow and the car in relation to my camera. The cow feels massive next to what isn't a huge car anyway. It's not like the cow waits to cross. This is just the path it wants to take, and we have to adapt to whatever the cow decides to do. I think this image really tells that story rather well. This is the perfect shot. I've got cows across the road, I've got a Highland, I want to get a Highland across the road. What could be better than a Highland cow defiantly blocking traffic? Well, that's what I wanted to attempt as like this final photo. I did get a couple of other shots in the meantime, but then this cow appeared in the middle of the road. But my POV camera just filmed my leg because of my epic squat on the side of the road. I like this shot because we have the long grass in the foreground giving a nice little layer. Then we have the car entering the frame, the road sign, the Highland cow, and a bonus cow in the road in the background, equally crossing in a silly way like the Highland cow. So for me, as like a multiple subject shot, this really works. If the car was a little bit more fully in the frame, maybe that'd be better, but I also think this works quite nicely. Now, what work are these cows actually doing here? Well, first let's understand why they're here in the first place. For at least 1,000 years, this hilly grassland area, which is called a common, has been deemed too much hassle to farm by past kings, local landlords, and now Parliament. Because of this, even while 97% of common land like this around the country became private in the last 250 to 300 years, this common, Minchinhampton Common, remained open to the locals to graze their livestock all the way from May to November every single year. This means these cows can do their job. And by job, I mean eat grass and slow down traffic. So instead of the farm animals adapting to modern roads, anyone driving through the area has to adapt to the animals by slowing down and enjoying the view of some cows for a minute or two, which to me seems like a fair trade. I know this whole thing might not be that weird to a lot of people. I've been through parts of Australia where it's kind of like this. Definitely in the States it'll be like this in some places, and probably maybe 100 other countries around the world have situations like this where like livestock kind of coexist on roads and stuff like that, like through some old tradition or law. But for a lot of people, even in the UK, like you don't see this sort of thing. Where I actually grew up in Yorkshire, there's a village that has sheep just kind of free roaming everywhere, which is pretty cool. But this is the first time I've ever seen something like this with cows like all over the place. It's a very beautiful countryside setting anyway, and then you have cows just sprawling all over the road. These amazing Highland cows that are like epic. And you do see these all over England and up in Scotland, I imagine in Wales and probably Ireland as well. It's just a really cool place to explore and take photos. I really enjoyed it. So if you've enjoyed this video, you've enjoyed learning a little bit about some odd English countryside, old laws, and the photography that came with it, I think you're going to enjoy a lot more videos I've got on the way. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, drop a hype on this video down below, and I'll see you in the next one, ideally with some dogs. Working dogs. Yeah, it's going to be great. Take care, see you soon.